you doing at growing your faith? How are you doing at growing your faith? You see, faith is a word that's used throughout the Bible because it matters. It's important. I want to share with you a piece of scripture that talks about how important faith is. So this comes out of Matthew chapter 17, verses 20 through 21. But first, I want to give you a little bit of backstory on what's going on here. You see, the disciples were hanging out with Jesus, and they saw him performing different miracles. And they're like, how come we can't do what you're doing, Jesus? And that's where our story picks up here in Matthew 17. So verse 20 through 21 says this. He says, Jesus replied, because you have so little faith. Truly, I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you'll be able to say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen what a mustard seed looks like before, but if you haven't, it is very, very small. Like we're talking, you can barely pinch it between your fingers. It's one of the smallest seeds in the entire world. And Jesus is saying, if you have faith, just a small pinch of faith, just a little bit of faith, the tiniest bit of faith that you can imagine, you'll be able to say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will happen. So basically he's saying, man, if you have just a little bit of faith, you will be able to do things bigger than you could ever even dream about. That's how powerful faith really is. Now you might be asking yourself, like, really? You can move a mountain? You really think that faith allows you to do something that's impossible? And I want to share with you a couple of different people that come to mind when I think of mountain moving faith. So right in the Bible, I think of Moses. He was able to lead God's people out of Egypt. Why? Because he was willing to have enough faith to trust God. Man, that is mountain moving faith. I think about a guy like Noah, who God just spoke to him and he's like, hey, Noah, I need you to build an ark. You're going to save the animals. You're going to save the people. Man, you got to trust in me. And Noah did, and he trusted in God and was able to save creation, all because he had faith. And then even to the more modern day era, I think of people like Martin Luther King, right? I have a dream that one day all men will be created equal. And because of that, people in America are able to be viewed the same now, all because one person had faith. You see, that is mountain moving faith. Faith matters. It's important and it's powerful. That's why we have to be willing to take steps to grow our faith each and every day. So with that being said, I just want to challenge you. How are you doing at growing in your faith? And then I want to give you 3 different ways that we can do that together. So the first way that we can grow our faith, and this is one of the most important, it's to stay connected. If you want to be growing in your faith, you've got to be staying connected. Now that means staying connected to God for sure, staying connected to the church, staying connected to other like-minded Christians is also totally valuable, totally important. Are your friends also growing in their relationship with God? Because you need to be hanging out with those types of people. Man, are you spending time with people who are trying to grow spiritually just like you? If you want to grow in your faith, you've got to stay connected with other like-minded Christians and stay connected to God. The next way to grow in your faith is to continue to grow your relationship with God. So obviously, if you want to have a relationship with God, you've got to put in some work. And that's where the faith starts to grow. So how are you doing at spending time with God? Are you coming to church every week? Are you reading the Bible? Are you praying? Man, you can't get to know God's heart unless you get to know His Word. It's powerful. How are you doing at spending time with God? Start a good devotional today. Spend some time with Him. It's life-changing. And the third way you can grow in your faith is to serve. There's so much power in serving, specifically when we can't be at church and it's a little harder. How are you doing at serving God? Look for opportunities to serve someone in your life, at your job, your family this week. Look for opportunities to serve. So once again, if you want to grow your faith, you've got to stay connected to other Christians and stay connected to God. You got to continue growing your relationship with Him. And lastly, you have to serve. Let's all work on growing our faith this week, man. Remember, faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains. God's going to work through this. Man, let's all grow our faith together. It's going to be awesome. Thank you. Goodbye.